Question 1 says, the sketch below shows a triangular field. Field two sides have lengths of 50 metres and 90 metres. The angles between the two sides is 90 degrees. So it says using a scale of 1 centimetre is equal to 10 metres, draw this triangular field. Right, so I would do a sketch of this first. So the sketch is going to be as follows. So it's 50 metres, which is going to be the same as 5 centimetres, and then that's 90 metres, which is going to be 9 centimetres, and that's going to be 70 degrees. So that's very roughly what your thing is going to look like. And then you have to draw that out accurately. So using your ruler, you will draw that. Now, it's very hard for me to draw this thing accurately on this, but I'll just do 9 centimetres here. So that's 9 centimetres. I'll label it as 90 metres. Put a wee dot here. This is where I'm going to draw my angle. I put the centre point of my compass, sorry, my protractor at that point. And from here, I'm measuring out this way to get my 70 degrees. So it goes out to here. And then I will link that up using my ruler again. And that was to be, what was it, 5 centimetres. And that just comes to 5 centimetres there. Actually, that's bang on. That was just complete fluke. That's where that goes to. And I'll rub out that bit. Don't need that angle as big as it was. And then I'll label this 50 metres. That's my 70 degrees. And then your last thing, just link it up with a straight line. So you can see, fairly good. But obviously you would have to draw that, make sure they are the right lengths. Okay, question 2 says, below is a menu from Dilly's Diner, and it says, a 2-course lunch is made up of 1 starter and 1 main course. Work out the number of different 2-course lunches that can be ordered from this menu. Okay, so there's 3 different starters, and there's 4 different options for the main course. So you have 3 lots of 4, so there's 12 different options in total. So you can have, for example, you can have the soup with any of these, so that would be 4, mushrooms with any of these, and ribs with any of these, so I'm still another 4. So 4, 4, 4, or 3 times 4, which gives you 12. Question 3 says, translate triangle A, 7 right and 4 down. So to do this, we'll pick this point, I think, would be the nice point to work with. I'm going to translate that 7 to the right, which takes me to the 5, and then 4 down, which takes, so it takes me over to the 5 here when you do 7 to the right, and then 4 down takes me down to 5 minus 2, and then just redraw your triangle. So that is going to be like so. Okay, and we label the triangle B. So describe the translation which maps B to A. So if I go back the way, I would need to go 7 left, so that's minus 7. And I would need to go 4 up, so minus 7, 4. Next one says, reflect triangle A in the line x equals 1. So x equals 1 is just your vertical line going through x equals 1. And we want to reflect a triangle A in this line. So this point here moves 1, 2, 3 to get to your mirror line. So it moves 1, 2, 3 on the other side, so it goes to here. I'm just going to rub out that one from earlier on. It's going to get in the way. And then we do the same with the rest of those points. So this point moves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it moves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's going to move to here. And this point is 1, 2 away. So it moves 2 away on this side. So it moves to here. So you get your 3 points. And just link those up nicely with a ruler. And see what you get. And you can see if you fold it over your page on that line, x equals 1, you would get the desired triangle. Okay, question 4 is an estimation question. This is where you've got to round every number to 1 sig fig. So 400 is what the top left number comes, and 400 times 10, and then divided by 50. Do that whatever way you want. I'd probably do a bit of cancelling down since it's non-calculator. I'd cancel my 50, goes into itself once, and 50 goes into this 8 times, and then it just becomes 8 times 10 over 1, which is just 80 over 1, which is just 80. And that is the answer you're looking for. Question 5. Distance time graph here. It says Andrew cycles at a steady speed from his home to school for a meeting. He leaves home at 9:15, so 9:15 is here. And the distance from his home to school is, and he arrives at school at 9:45, so 9:45 is here. And the distance from his home to school is 5 kilometers, so that's going to be 5 kilometers there. So we can link that up. He then spends 20 minutes at school. So 9:45 plus 20 is going to take you to 5 past 10, wherever that is. 5 past 10, that's going to be here. And then he spends 20 minutes at school before returning home. And again, he arrives home at 10:25, so here. So link all of those up. And that should be it. And it says, work out Andrew's average speed for his journey home. Now, it's going to be, look at the units carefully. They're in kilometers per hour. That means your distance needs to be in kilometers. Your time needs to be in hours. The distance he's gone is, let's say D is equal to 5 kilometers. My time is, and it took him what time to get home. So it's this wee section here we're looking at. He's gone from 10 past 10 to 10 past 10, 20 past 10, so it's 20 minutes. 10 past 10, 25 past 10, so it's 20 minutes, which is 1/3 of an hour. So what you're doing for your average speed is equal to distance divided by time. So it is equal to 5 divided by 1/3, and 5 divided by 1/3 is the same as 5 times times 3, which is going to be 15 kilometers per hour. Or what you could do is say he goes 5 kilometers in 20 minutes. So in 1 full hour, one full hour is 3 times as long as 20 minutes. So it's going to be 3 times the 5 kilometers. So it's 15 kilometers in 1 hour, which is the same as 15 kilometers per hour. So there's a couple of ways of doing that one. Okay, the next bit says, is this Andrew's fastest average speed during his journey? And it is, because if you look at this line here is definitely steeper than this line here. So if you can think about it, he's gone 5 kilometers and he's done that in 20 minutes, whereas here he's gone 5 kilometers, but he's done it in, what was that? How many minutes was that? It's going to be 30 minutes. So he's definitely gone faster in the second time. But we're talking really about the steepness of a line. Is this his fastest average speed? It is, yes, because it is the steepest line. Handwriting's terrible in this. My steepest line. Okay, next bit says Beech Grove High School has 1,200 pupils in total. 45% of pupils were girls, working at the number of girls. So we're really doing 45% of 1,200. Okay, this is a non-calculator exam, so it's 45 over 100 times 1,200. So you work that out, and then 100 cancels into that 12 times. So you're really just doing 12 times 45. So I'll just do that at the side. I'm going to do my 45 times 12. So I'll just do it in 2 bits, and I'll just do multiply by 2, long multiplication. 2 times the 45 is going to give you 90. Put down your 0, and then multiply by 1. 1 times 45 is 45, and then add. You're going to get 540, so 540 girls. It says there are 240 pupils in year 12, and what percentage of the pupils in the school are in year 12? So it is 240 out of, how many pupils was it? 1200. And then you're going to get it into a percentage, you multiply by 100%. So again, a wee bit of cancelling down here. I'm going to say that's 240 over 1200 times 100 over 1. Again, 100 goes into that, 100 goes into that 12 times. And then you're just doing, it really just becomes 240 divided by 12. And that then becomes, 12 goes into 24 twice, and then you have another 0, so 20%. Question 7. Students in class were asked how many text messages they each sent in a particular week. So you've got a wee table here showing that, and it says a student was taken at random from the class. What is the probability that a student sent more than 59 text messages? So more than 59 is going to be 8 and 3. We just need to work out the total here. So the total of all these things, total number of people, is 1 plus 3 plus 13 plus 8 plus 3. So we work that out. First of all, 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 13 is 17, plus 8 is 25, plus 3 is 28. So it is going to be, that is your probability. So just tidy up, and you're going to have 11 over 28, and that is your answer. Okay, next part says, student was taken at random from those who sent less than 60 messages. So less than 60 messages are all of these ones. What is probability that this student sent 59 messages? So it's 13 out of those bits that are circled. So what was that? 1 plus 3 plus 13. So which works out to be 13 over, and that's going to be 17. So 13 over 17. Just check, and none of my probabilities, this one and this one, doesn't cancel down. So we'll just check. That would be a very easy mark thrown away if it did. Okay. 8. What is the main difference between the binary number system and the decimal number system? This came up on the M4 exam. I just said that the binary system involves 1 and 0. Okay, so that's all it involves. It involves 1 and 0 only. Then write this number as a decimal number. The way I do this, first of all, I start with the right hand side and I write down my powers: 2 to the power of 0, 2 to the power 1, 2 to the power 2, 2 to the power 3, 2 to the power 4, 2 to the power 5, and that means that they're all switched on. So what they all represent: 2 to the power 0, start from here, is just 1, 2 to the power of 1 is 2, 2 to the power 2 is 4, 2 to the power 3 is 8, 2 to the power 4 is 16, 2 to the power 5 is 32. Okay, we can be smart how we add these up. If we look at them slightly differently, if we add, change how this is written to write this as 32 plus 8, because they're easy ones to add, and 16 plus 4 are easy ones to add, and then you can just add on your 2 and your 1 at the end. Okay, 32 plus 8 is 40, 16 plus 4 is 20, 2 plus 1 is 3, so that's going to be 40 plus 20 is 60, plus 3 is 63. Next one, again binary. You've got, going the other way, you've 87. Think of the biggest power of 2 which fits into 87. It's 64. The next power of 2 would be 32, but it doesn't fit in. The next one would be 16. 16 does fit in. The next one would be, we're now up to 64 plus 16 is 80. Now, next one would be 8, leave it blank. Next one would be 4, it does fit in. So we're up to 84. Next one would be 2, and 2 does fit in. And the next one, so we're up to 86, and then the last one is 1, and it does fit in. So that's what we're adding up. So really, that's how you got it. So underneath, then put it back in decimals. Anytime there's a number, it's switched on, so it's got a 1. Anytime there's a blank, it's switched off, so you put a 0. So that's what we should have: 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1. Okay, next one. Nice easy question here. Simplify. So you're just adding your powers. So it's w to the power of 5 And this one, you're subtracting your powers. Y to the power 6 divided by y to the power 2. Subtract your powers, you're going to get y to the power 4. Next one is an nth term. Work out the nth term of this sequence. They're going up in 7, so you're adding 7 every time. Yep, adding 7, so you know there's a 7n involved. And then if you trace back, go back 7, you would have got a 0. So really it's 7n plus 0. You don't need to write the 0, so 7n just. Okay, tricky enough question. Work out the value of 5 to the minus 2. That is 1 over 5 squared, which is 1 over 25. And work out the value of this. 1 to the power of anything is 1. 6 to the power of 0 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. And that is it. This next question, all you're doing here is plotting this graph. So the table says, the following table gives some values of a quadratic equation. So you've got your x values and the corresponding y values and so on all the way along. So these are the coordinates that you're going to put in. So all you're doing is doing these and then linking it up. So I'll plot the first couple. Minus 2, 11. Minus 2, 11 is here. Minus 1, 5 is here. You know what, I'll just do them all. They're fairly quick to do. 0, 1 is here. 1 minus 1 is here. 2 minus 1 is here. And we're back up. Okay, right, so there's your points plotted. All right, I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to try my best to draw this. It's a nice smooth curve. There we go, not too bad, not great, but not too bad. So you try and avoid, things to avoid here, you're trying to avoid straight lines between the points, that's not good. You're trying to avoid bubbles between the points, so this is another mistake people would make. And the other thing is, people very often, they would go to guess, this would be fine, this section would be fine, and then there's a flat bottom at this base bit here. So remember, it's a curve, so it does curve down sort of below this thing. There's a couple of things to involve, to think about. Next thing we have to do is then, it says use your graph to estimate the value of x for which y is values of x for which y is equal to 3. So you're using your ruler and you're drawing a horizontal line across at 3. And then so that's your y equals 3 line drawn, and then you're reading down to see what you get. So not very accurate mine, but if I read down, and I think I did this was on the M8, I think I got a slightly different answer when I did it for the M8 paper, but here you have to go with your graph. So mine is going to be 3.6 is one of them. And then the other one over here. Right, so where is that? That would be minus 0.2, minus 0.4, minus 0.6. It's sort of halfway. If I go back, trace that back, it would sort of be halfway between that. So that's minus 0.6, about minus 0.7, I think. Again, not great because my graph wasn't drawn very accurately. Minus 0.7, so there's your answers. Okay, the next one. Tricky enough wee question. It says a tent in the shape of a cone has a perpendicular height of 7 and a volume of 220. Using pi is equal to pi over 7, work out the base radius of this tent. Write your answer in surd form. So first of all, the volume of a cone is 1/3 pi r squared h. We'll fill in what we know. Its volume is 220, and then it is equal to 1/3. Pi we're told to use 22 over 7. R is what we're trying to find. H we know is 7. So we'll tidy this right-hand side up a wee bit. And you can notice you can do a wee bit of cancelling here. So this 7 cancels with this 7. So really you've just got 22 over 3 times r squared. And then this 3 here, if you imagine, it is dividing. So when it goes across, it multiplies. So you're going to have 220 times 3 is equal to 22r squared. And we'll just work that out, will we? No, in fact, we'll not work that out just yet. We'll leave it as it is. Next thing, this 22 is multiplying. It goes across and divides. So you're going to have 220 times 3 all over 22 is equal to r squared. And then a bit of cancelling comes into play again. So 22 goes into itself once, and then 22 will go into this 10 times. So you've got 10 times 3, which is 30, is equal to r squared, which means r is equal to the square root of 30, and they ask you to leave it in surd form. Okay, very difficult for me to do this one on this, as I can't show the scale properly, but it says Toby walks his dog on a field, and he is always 40 meters from A. So, and you're told in this thing the scale is 1 centimeter is 10 meters. So you've got to go out from here. You've got to do a circle, radius 4. So circle radius 4 from this. I'm doing this very, very roughly, just to show you from your point A. So using your tractor, open your compass. Open your compass up to 4 centimeters, and that would have been, that's our 40 meters from A. He's nearer to A than to B, so that means you've got to do your perpendicular bisector of AB. So I'll add in that one. That one's hard for people to see. Perpendicular. Okay, so when you measure this, if I measure this properly on the actual test, I think it was 14 from memory. I'm doing this one already. Yeah, it was 14 centimeters. So that means you measure in 7 centimeters back. You could do your lines of construction as well, but I think because they've done this, sorry, I'll just zoom this in so it is perfectly at 14 on my screen. So we want 7 in. Right, so there's my halfway mark. Cheating a wee bit here, folks. But really, that is going to be 70 meters. And then the last thing is this last thing, nearer to DA than to DC. This really is the angle bisector of D is what you're doing. So to do this, to do the angle bisector of D, you put your compass, open your compass a certain amount, put your pin of your compass at D, you do a line here where an arc is, a line here, a wee arc from there, and then we'll call this point X, call this point Y. You then put your compass on X and you do a line inside, a wee arc inside, put your compass pin then on Y, keeping your compass open the same amount as it had been there, and do an arc inside. And then you link those up, we'll call that one Z. You link D and Z using your ruler. And this is your lines of construction. And I reckon this is a bit that people will get wrong on this, the angle bisector. And you want to just extend that line all the way along. Okay, right. Now the question says, he needs to be more than 40 meters from A, so he needs to be outside of this circle. He needs to be nearer to A than the B, so he needs to be in here. And he needs to be nearer to DA, so nearer to this line here than this line. So the shaded bit we're looking for is going to be this wee bit in here. So that's what we're shading. Okay, last page. It's a standard form question. You've got m divided by n. I'm going to write this slightly different. I'm going to write it 4.5 times 10 to the power of 7, and divided by, put that in a bracket, and divided by 5 times 10 to the minus 3. And then your 4.5 divided by 5 gives you 0.9. And then 10 to the 7 divided by 10 to the minus 3. Subtract those powers, so it's 7 minus 3. So it is 0.9 times 10 to the power of 10, which is not in standard form. That would probably give you a mark getting that, but make this one 10 times bigger to make it 9. And if you've made that one 10 times bigger, then this one needs to be 10 times smaller. So 10 times smaller is 10 to the power of 9, and that is your answer. The last one here, tricky question to finish with, says make Q the subject. Okay, Q's on the bottom line. Generally, if the thing you're trying to make the subject is on the bottom line mathematics, that's going to be a problem. So we're going to multiply across by this whole bottom line. So you have P times R minus Q is equal to Q. Then multiply your bracket. You'll have PR minus PQ is equal to Q. Then bring all of your Q's over to one side, so you'll have Q plus PQ. And then take your Q outside the bracket, so factorise it out, you'll have 1 plus P. And then you'll have your PR divided by 1 plus P is equal to Q. So your answer is Q is equal to PR over 1 plus P. And that's it. Done.